Alright, so this is the Oraimo Watch ES2. I tried getting the ES1, which should be the original ES online, but I couldn't find it. Since this is the ES2, then I believe that there should be some upgrades from the ES1, or maybe downgrades, depends on how you see it. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be reviewing this watch to let you know everything you need to know about it. But for a start, I want you to know that I have very mixed feelings about this watch. Alright, let's begin. In total, I have used 3 Oraimo wristwatches. I started with the Watch 2 Pro, then I started using the Watch 3 Pro, which is what I normally use as my daily wristwatch for now. And now I have tested the Watch ES2. For a start, I want to talk about the watch on its own, how it holds up and everything. And then after that, I'm going to talk about the things that I like about the watch compared to other wristwatches that I've used and the things that I do not like about the watch so far. Okay, so for a start, the most important thing I like about this watch is the screen. It's an AMOLED screen and it looks very wide. The reason why it is very wide is because the bezels are very slim. But just looking at the watch, everything looks very great. The colors are very sharp and vibrant. The dark parts of the watch are very dark. For the white parts, I wouldn't say they are extremely white. I think they are just like brown a bit, but not extremely or entirely white. So if you are someone that likes very white colors, well, you're not going to get that with this watch per se. But it's not noticeable. It's one of those things that you're just going to have to nitpick if you are very watchful. Well, still on the screen, if you decide to go outside with the watch, well, the screen is very bright. Like, you have to manually increase the brightness because there is no auto brightness yet. I hope that Oraimo will, add that in future watches to come. And because it is an AMOLED screen, then it is perfect for always on display, which the watch comes with. And you can choose any screen you want. I think there are 4 templates you can choose from, 4 screens you can choose from. And you can activate always on display from there. You can also decide when you want always on display to be active. So maybe at night when you're about to sleep, you can just turn it off, and then in the morning it will turn on automatically. Depends on how you set it. If you guys want a video on that, on how to set always on display on the ES2, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make a video on that. Notifications on the ES2 look really nice, and unlike the other wristwatches that I've used, on this one, if you want to access notifications, you have to swipe from the top like most Android devices do. And if you want to access like widgets and settings, you swipe from the bottom. It took me some time to get used to it, but well, it's a nice feature as well. Now with the notifications, while you are scrolling through the notifications, you're going to see that delete button. It was not on the Watch 2 Pro, but here it is present on the Watch ES2. So you're going to see that delete button so that anytime you feel like you're tired of scrolling, then you can always delete the notifications. I honestly can't say anything negative about the screen. Honestly, I wish all Oraimo wristwatches had the same screen, like the same AMOLED screen. But well, you can't always get what you want. So yeah, let's talk about other aspects of the watch. So on the right, you're going to get this dial that spins. And the good part about it is that you can use it to control the watch, which is something I hoped for while I was doing the unboxing. On the Watch 3 Pro, there's a dial like this, but it doesn't control the watch. You can only use it to, turn on the watch. It's just like a power button. But on the ES2, well, you can use it to control the watch. It also acts as your power button. Next, you're going to get the microphone because you can also use this watch to make phone calls. And then you're going to get an extra button. The extra button doesn't work on its own. You have to first press the main button, which is the one that spins. And then if you press the extra button at the bottom, it's going to show you all the exercises that you can do with the watch. And back to the microphone, you can use the watch to make normal phone calls only. You can't use it to make like WhatsApp calls or Facebook calls or Zoom calls, all those other type of calls that require an internet connection. Just normal calls for now. Hopefully in the future we'll get wristwatches that can do all those things. Okay, so on the left we have the speaker, which is good for making phone calls. Like, it's very audible, but just know that you cannot use this watch to play music. You can use it to control music that is being played by your phone. Maybe you have wired earphones or Bluetooth earphones on. You can use this watch to skip to the next song or go to the previous song, or even increase and decrease volume. It's the same on the Watch 3 Pro. So yeah, good features so far. On the bottom, on the back, you have the sensors for your heartbeats and all that stuff. And then you have the charging points. And it also uses the same charger that comes with the Watch 2 and 3 Pro. I have used the heart rate app a couple of times on the watch. And one thing that I like about it is that as it measures your heart rate, it actually updates, unlike the other watches that I've used that they'll have to do all the measurements first before they show you your heart rate. But this one, as it checks your heart rate, it's going to keep updating. Sometimes it will go up, sometimes it comes down. But the thing is that it doesn't work all the time. I don't know why. Sometimes you try it and it doesn't do anything until it is done reading. And sometimes when you measure your heart rate, you see it keep fluctuating and then to give you the final reading. I don't know why it's not always stable, but well, I like the updates per se. And I've tried the other ones like the blood oxygen and the rest. But just so you know, you should not take any of the results as medical advice. If you want medical results, you need to go to a hospital to visit a professional. So yeah, don't use this watch as a medical advisor. Some new features that I found on the watch that I've never used on a watch are the calculator and the double tap to wake. Now, personally, I do not like the calculator app because, well, for example, if I say 12 divided by 4, you're going to notice that immediately I tap the divide, then the 12 disappears. And it's not ideal for me because I'm not very good with numbers, so I need to know the numbers that I'm working with. So if the number just goes away, then I may start wondering what the previous number was. So for now, I'm going to be sticking to the calculator on my phone. And for the double tap to wake, it is a very good feature per se, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes when I double tap the watch, it doesn't respond. I have to do it again for it to work. And after I do it, then it starts to work normal again. So I don't know, maybe the watch has been designed in a way that when you double tap it the first time, it doesn't work to make sure that you are intentional in the double tap. So you double tap it the first time, it doesn't work. The watch is going to wait to know if you are really serious about it. Then you double tap again, that's when it works. That's just my own speculation. I'm not really sure about that, but it's a good feature to have, but it doesn't always work. Another thing about the double tap feature is that if you are using the always on display option, if you double tap the screen, it's not going to work. You have to manually press the power button for you to access the menus on the watch. So on the watch, you don't get the settings that will allow you to activate or deactivate that cover the watch to turn off the screen, but it is there. It seems like Oraimo realized that, okay, people normally use it, so they just decided to put it as a default feature on the watch. You don't have the option to turn it off if you don't want it. But I don't know why anybody will want to turn it off. This is something that I use all the time, and anybody that I like show it to, they like the idea of being able to just cover the watch and then the screen dies. So yeah, that feature is there. There's also the raise to wake feature on the watch, so that whenever you want to just view the time without having to press the power button or use double tap, you can just lift up your wrist or your hand and then the watch is going to light up. And when you put your hand down, the watch dies as well. The screen dies. I don't know why I keep saying the watch dies. I'm talking about phone calls using the ES2. Let's say you are using the watch to make a phone call. Well, you know that because it's the speaker, everybody around you will be hearing your conversation. So there's an option on the watch that you can use to switch to your phone. And I like this option very well because maybe you are your phone is ringing and you are trying to answer it quickly, but you don't have the time to like maybe remove your phone from your bag or remove it from your pocket. You can quickly answer it on your phone, on the wristwatch, and maybe you'll be like, hold on, I'm coming, just give me a few seconds. And then you take out your phone, put it in your ear, and then switch from the watch, like the sound coming out from the watch, and then the sound will start coming out from the phone. I like the idea so much. I just wish every other wristwatch had it. I believe you can do that if you just manually use your phone to switch from the watch to the phone. But the thing is that the watch is a very good way to answer phone calls quickly before you start panicking and rushing to find where your phone is in your bag or in your pocket. It happens to me sometimes. If it happens to you too, please let me know in the comments. I don't want to feel like I'm the only crazy person in this world. Alright, so moving to the battery. On the ES2, you will get a 300 mAh battery. Now, to me, from my experience, it's a decent battery. It's not that great and it's not that bad. After 24 hours of use, I was able to end with 86%. And while you may think that 86% is not bad, well, on the Watch 3 Pro, after 24 hours, I still get around 96 to maybe 94%. So normally I don't use the watch for receiving notifications, just for phone calls, because I get a lot of notifications and I don't want the watch to keep buzzing, like vibrating on my hand. So that is why I turn off notifications. But if it is phone calls, well, I always want to make sure that I don't miss any phone calls. So I would say that I moderately use the watch. It's not like I receive a lot of phone calls every day. So yeah, with moderate use with the Watch ES2, 86% every 24 hours is what you will get. But if you are constantly getting notifications, then it's going to be lower. Okay, so I believe I've talked about basically everything that I need to when it comes to the Watch ES2. So now I want to talk about the things that I actually miss, or the things that I'm not very happy that this watch doesn't have, because I have really mixed feelings about this watch. It should have been my daily watch, but because of the things that I'm missing, well, personally, I'm not going to be using it as my daily watch. And before I start saying all those things, I want you to know that if you have never used an Oraimo watch before, then you can totally go for the ES2. But if you have used watches that have like a lot of customization and a lot of features, then if you use this one, the ES2, I don't think you're going to like it. So here are some of the things that I personally do not like about the watch. And after hearing them, if you feel like you can live without all those things, then you have my full go ahead to go for the watch. But if you feel like you can't live with all those things that I'll be talking about, then I would recommend you go for the Watch 3 Pro. Okay, I've turned it off. Okay, so the first thing is vibration. The Watch ES2, the vibration on the Watch ES2 is very weak. Sometimes I don't even feel it when it vibrates. And something that I'm not sure about this, but sometimes it randomly vibrates and I think I have a notification, but when I check, there's nothing. I'm not too sure about that. It hasn't happened a lot, but the vibration is very weak. But with the Watch 3 Pro, the vibration is very strong. Like this one can even break your hand when it vibrates. You will not miss any phone call if you use this one and maybe are outdoors on a bike, because as you're on a bike, the bike is going to be vibrating, and if this one vibrates, I doubt you will feel it. So I decided to call myself so I can give you an example of the vibration. You're not going to feel it, but you're going to hear it. So this one has very short bursts of vibrations, and this one has a very strong vibration. So yeah, let me just play the video so you guys can hear the vibrations. So hopefully by now you guys understand what I'm talking about. And just so you know, the ES2 has a vibration slider, like a way to increase the intensity. And I have put it at the highest level, but still it's not that good for me. And you know, I don't feel my phone when it vibrates in my pocket. So if this watch is not going to fix that issue for me, then honestly, I don't think there's a point of me having to use it outside. So indoors, I notice when it vibrates, but when I'm outside, you know, your mind is very like distracted all the time. So if the vibration doesn't even feel strong, then I'm going to miss a lot of phone calls. So that's why I don't like the vibration here. Another thing the ES2 doesn't have compared to the Watch 3 Pro is emergency phone calls. On the Watch 3 Pro, if I if I triple tap the power button, then it's going to start making a call to the number that I've set for emergency calls. I like doing that a lot because, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to just start looking for the number that I want to call by going through the phone app and then searching for the number. But just by doing that, it's going to take 10 seconds and then to call the person. But with this one, I have to manually go through all the numbers that I've saved to the watch before I can make phone calls. The next feature that I'm not too happy about that this one doesn't have is the anti-theft or security feature. I've made a video about that on the Watch 3 Pro, where if you detach the watch from your hand, then it's going to lock itself. You'll have to input your 4-digit PIN in order to access the watch again. So the ES2 doesn't have that option, and honestly, this watch looks very premium, and I wish it had it, honestly. And it's not like I normally use the option that much, but it's something I like that I have, so that any day I feel like, okay, maybe I'm going to an area where things are not very safe per se, then I can just turn on my security feature so that even if I drop my watch maybe on a table or so, nobody can just start accessing all my stuff on the watch. So yeah, the ES2 doesn't have it, so I'm not very excited about that. Widget shortcuts are also missing on the ES2. Unlike the Watch 3 Pro, where you can just slide to the left and then you have some widgets that you can set. The ones that you want, you set them there so that you can easily access them. But with the Watch ES2, you have to manually access the menu and then you can go and look for what you're looking for. This is a watch. It's supposed to be saving time, I think, but well, that's not the case. Wait, is a watch supposed to be saving time or just telling you time? But anyways, watch and time, they are related, so it's supposed to help you save time. But that's not the case with this one. So a few more features that are discouraging me from using this watch are the fact that you don't get the notification when the watch is disconnected from your phone, like if the Bluetooth is disconnected. You know, sometimes you may take the watch with you, the watch will be attached to your wrist, and you forget your phone maybe in your room and you head over somewhere. The Watch 3 Pro will vibrate to let you know that your phone is far away from the watch and the Bluetooth has disconnected. But this one doesn't have that option. Another thing is that the dialer doesn't have star and hash. I know that may seem like a very small thing to worry about, but personally I don't like it. And then two more things that I do not like about the ES2 is that sometimes it annoys you by letting you know that some of the settings that you are putting on the watch will kill your battery faster. Now, I understand the aspect of warning you about battery life, but I mean, if you warn me like maybe twice a day, then that should be enough. You don't have to keep constantly warning me that this setting you are trying to do will kill your battery. Like an example is if you try to increase the brightness on the watch, it's always going to tell you that it is going to kill your battery faster. If you want to activate always on display, it will tell you the same thing. So that is something I find very annoying. And then finally, I know I've said a lot, but the final thing I do not like about this watch is that if you are trying to select how long the screen will stay on after, pressing the power button, well, you only have from 5 seconds to 15 seconds. Like, the gap is too much. On the Watch 3 Pro, you can actually choose from 1 to 20 seconds, which is more than enough for anybody. But this one, it goes from 5 to 15, then 20, 25. I think the last one is at 35. So to me, it is not ideal. Maybe if there was 5 and 10, it could have been okay, but 5 then 15, the watch is going to be on for too long. So yeah, that's the last thing that I do not like about the watch. And if you have been taking notes, then maybe you have found something that you would miss if you stopped using your current watch, or if you want to get the Watch 3 Pro. Everything that I've said that is missing from the Watch ES2 is available on the Watch 3 Pro. The only thing that this one doesn't have is a very nice screen. It's an LCD screen, but my hope is that Oraimo will put an AMOLED screen in the Watch 4 Pro, and it will have some of the important or nice features this ES2 has, and then put it on the Watch 4 Pro. So for now, I'll be sticking to the Watch 3 Pro, but if you want to get the ES2, well, it is 25,000 Naira. I paid 25,500 Naira. But it depends on where you live, I believe. So yeah, if you want to order it online for yourself, you can check the link in the description. You can also use my discount code to get some discounts if you want to buy the watch. So link to that will be in the description as well. And yeah, final thing I want to say is that this one is also water resistant and dust resistant. And the flashlight is very bright compared to the Watch 3 Pro. So that's everything I have to say about the Watch ES2. I still have mixed feelings about it. I don't intend to use it as my daily watch. But well, hopefully the Watch 4 Pro is going to have some of the nice features of this one. Well, thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for 100 subscribers. Like, I just made the unboxing and I was at 90 subscribers when I made it. That was like 2-3 days ago, and you guys just blew me away by subscribing. So please, if you guys found this video interesting, helpful, or it made you decide what to do, then let me know in the comments, and please subscribe. I'll be making more fun videos like this, reviewing tech products and doing like tech tips. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you're subscribed. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.